The Fighting Illini were this close to pulling off a big-time road upset at number 3 Michigan yesterday.
There's a bit of a buzz inside SFQ Arena tonight as Redbird Nation gets its first official look of Illinois State under new head coach Ryan Peden. It feels like deja vu. Last season, Farmington embarrassed the Titans 46-6 in the first round of the playoffs. El Paso Gridley hasn't forgotten that.
The NFC North Division title could be wrapped up today by the Vikings. Minnesota visiting a much improved Lions team who have won 4 of their last 5 games. San Fran strikes first in the second quarter. Deebo Samuel goes around and barrels his way in for the touchdown. 49ers led 7-0 at the half. It must have been a heck of a halftime speech by Eberflus because the Bears wake up in the second half. Third quarter, Justin Fields is fleshed out, running for his life on 3rd down, but he finds a wide open Dante Pettis, and he does the rest, putting on the Jets a 51-yard touchdown.
Your last 2 games, the defense has allowed 7 points or less. What has made this defense so dominant down the stretch?
We've really honed in on just trying to do the basic things.
It's been a roller coaster week for the Illini. Tuesday, the Orange and Blue knocked off number 2 Texas at Madison Square Garden. Yesterday, the Illini embarrassed by Penn State on home court. Fourth quarter, they rally. DeMar DeRozan goes to Andre Drummond, who throws one down with one hand. Bulls down 3. Less than 50 seconds left to go. DeRozan, this time on the back door, gets up for the slam.
Illinois State head coach Brock Spack says the point of emphasis for the week has been finishing games strong. Jake, your team is averaging 46 points per game through the first 5 games. What makes this offense so potent?
I'd say our athletic ability and our line doing their job.
Cubbies take the early lead. Top of the 6th, P.J. Higgins smokes a 2-run double. That makes it 4-zip Cubs. But in true Cubs fashion, they let the Blue Jays tie it up. And this one goes to the 11th, where Danny Jansen smokes a walk-off RBI single. Cubs lose 5-4.
Reporting in Champaign for 25 Sports, I'm Sara Palczewski. Playing college ball was a dream come true for Illinois State pitcher Trey Krause.
But when I finally started getting looks in high school, I just had to keep working and knew I was close and just so happy to go to the next level.
Krause got thrown right into off-season training with the Redbirds in 2019, and in a short period of time, he was pitching in the team's fall games.
I was ready for it. All my training had to pay off, and I was just ready for the moment.
The pieces were in place for a great freshman season.
We had him penciled in to be our number 2 starter that season going into 2020. And then we got a call one morning that, changed a lot of things for us and him.
That call came right before Krause's freshman season in 2020 after having pain in his right leg, a call that said he had cancer.
It's just like a feeling you're never ready for.
It's not in the coach's manual, that you're not prepared for that as a coach.
Krause was diagnosed with Ewing's sarcoma, a form of cancer that occurs in the bones and soft tissue around the bones.
There's a lot of things that go through your mind, a lot of serious stuff, a lot of things that obviously don't pan out happening. There's just a lot of emotions that go through your mind.
The big thought for Krause, his baseball career.
Probably one of the first thoughts I had that was okay, no more baseball. Baseball probably should be the last thing you worry about, but yeah, that's where my mind went to.
Even having part of his femur removed, the treatment worked, and he entered remission in November 2020. Krause was ultimately declared cancer-free, but the work didn't stop there. He still had a long way to get back to baseball.
Start in a wheelchair and you just keep building up slowly by slowly to get your first steps, your first kind of jog, and then your first run, and then back on the mound.
Krause rejoined his team in January last year and got to work.
The progression since then has been just as impressive. There was times that, I'm sure he doubted himself.
Getting back on the mound was probably the most important thing. It's obviously not an overnight thing, and that's kind of the hard part about it. It's just got to be that daily kind of get after it and looking forward to something in the end.
And when he takes the mound this spring for the first time, it'll mark a major milestone.
I've been waiting for this since my freshman year. I'm dreaming about it for a lot of times, a lot of nights, just hoping to be back for the season and to be part of the Redbirds.
I think he's a Disney movie waiting to happen. It's one of those that everything was taken away. I believe it was like a 45% chance of living is the number of what we looked up in the office that day when we were sitting there telling him to be back pitching. I mean, it's just kind of unheard of.
Reporting in Normal for 25 News, I'm Sara Palczewski.